What's going on? It's your boy DameSmiff. Welcome to another episode of Concert Without Sounds, and we're actually going to check out Usher's performance of the song There Goes My Baby, as well as Daddy's Home and a bunch of other classics. But we're not going to use any music. There's no sound. There's no sound at all. And the reason we're doing that is because we're going to break it down from the perspective of a musician for the musicians, and we're going to see what I, as a musician, glean from watching one of the greatest performers we have right now, and what makes it all work, and what you can actually learn for yourself as a musician when you're making your own shows. So if you're interested in content like this, make sure you hit the like button so that way more people can see content like this, and then make sure you hit the subscribe button so you can see my latest video. So let's get into it. I think the first thing I want to point out is the venue, because I'm looking at the picture of the venue and it's jaw crazy. So let's go. So we're out here, and I want to say this is his residency. I'm not sure, but this is a crazy stage. So what do we know about Usher going into this? At the recording of this video is 2025. Usher is 46 years old. I had to look it up for a second, but yeah, when you see this performance, this was 2 years before this. So he was only 44. This is crazy that a 44-year-old singer is performing this intense, this crazy at this level. Because I want you to put into perspective the other 44-year-olds in your life, okay? And then I want you to put yourself in the shoes of Usher and imagine trying to pull off this performance at the level you expect Usher to pull it off, okay? So then we're going to go into it with no sound, and we're just going to look at the performance, okay? So immediately the stage looks insane. Usher is down here in the center. And so first thing I notice is this looks like a nightclub, but we're in Vegas, so I think a lot of these venues are custom. And if you've ever seen an Usher show, at least in recent years, he's going to utilize almost every foot of this venue. He's going to be all over this bitch. And so let's try to pick apart what we're looking at here. So I believe we're in a section. Whoever's recording from here is in like a booth or a section. And then in front of us are other booths and sections. And it looks like they are in like stadium seating. So there's going to be some dancing. There's definitely going to be some grooving and things like that. But it's pretty packed. And then obviously all the phones are here. And we talked about phones before, where most of these people are here for the memories. But a lot of this is going to get posted online. Like, let's be honest. So with that being said, as we've seen with the Joe performance over in New York, make sure you go check out that video. We also have the venue cameraman. And I hope this is like a cameraman that is getting footage that Usher's going to own, because that's going to be really helpful for him as an artist. Because again, remember, there's a historical aspect to being able to record footage, especially live performances and things like that, from an exclusive angle. All these phones out here, they're going to get crappy little bum iPhone versions that are going to be vertical and stupid, and they're going to post them on TikTok with text all over it, and they're going to tag their boyfriends. It's going to look stupid. This guy, he's got the gold right here. He's got the angles and the colors and shades and footage that is exclusive. And so this is very, very valuable. And so it looks like he's down there in the center, either talking to a fan or things like that. He's very interactive, and I think that's kind of key with the success of his performances, because a lot of people, even though we look at performers to kind of serve us, a lot of people like to be a part of the show. So if you can find a way to safely implement this, like, you know, this is a dude down here just basically asking the ladies to flirt with him. I'm going to assume this gentleman right here with his back turned to him is security, you know, in case some rowdy boyfriend want to roll up or something like that. You see this dude over here with his arms folded. He don't want nothing to do with this. But things like that help the performance. It helps it a lot. And it's a thing that is controversial, because you will never see this come from, like, you know, a 20-year-old female pop star. This is insane. This will never happen, right? And you'll never see this from like a gangster rapper who's doing a low venue type of shit. Like, him jumping in the crowd is just not safe. So if you can pull this off in a place like Las Vegas, that's pretty powerful. And it's memorable for the audience because this lady, even though we're never gonna know who she is and why she's acting all crazy, and he's trying to get her off of him, he's just like, "All right, lady," uh, she's gonna remember this the rest of her life, and he's gonna basically move on to the next girl. She's still dancing, she's still spinning. He's 14 feet over here, and he's still going into it. That's magic. So if you still believe in magic like she does, this performance is awesome, you know? So that's why you want to be Usher and understanding the power of your, your presence. Look, he's on to literally the next woman 14 feet to the left, and she's just singing along. Really, she's just a fan that just loves the music. That's also key too. You'll see a lot of pop stars do this, where they'll point the mic at people and get the crowd to kind of sing. That's really awesome too, because a lot of being a part of the show is performing the song. So if it was up to a lot of you, you would push Nicki Minaj or Beyonce to the side and have her watch you perform the song instead. So that's actually really smart for Usher to go around and have people sing along with them, especially if it's a song that's a banger and things like that. So it looks like he's just kind of looking for fans to hang out with. And again, this is super memorable because it's like meeting a rock star without actually meeting a rock star. It's like spotting like a mermaid. You want to tell everybody you've seen it, but you can't really explain it, so you got to go out and see it for yourself. And that's what makes it really, really cool, because Usher is a real person. So you can actually be like, oh shit, I actually like got the high five Usher, or like that lady in the green like literally dance on Usher. And so she's, back to her normal life, just chilling as an audience member. But for everybody, this is still happening. Like, this is still magic. This is still, crazy. And it looks like they got like stripper money moving around and stuff like that. But this is really, really good. And remember, this is very little to do with singing. So this is more so to do with his celebrity, his presence, the fact that these people respect him as a singer. And again, he's dancing with another lady. This girl over here, she's talking in the green. She's still mad. And so more ladies want to talk and say hi and things like that. And mind you, if you pay attention, none of the phones are of people trying to make themselves the star. They're still pointing at Usher. So as much as people want to get mad at, like, how the women are reacting, or how fans in general react to people, remember, my guy here is still the source. He's still the source of creativity. Don't get it twisted. And that I was right. Security is right there, just in case. My boys is on it. And I think too, when it comes to making things work, we were looking at how Joe had literally a 5-man band standing up there rocking out an insane crowd of people. These guys right here make it work. And it looks like this is a venue employee here, where she's kind of making sure the crowd is safe in the stands and things like that. But I think Usher has to have a bit of understanding that, what is and isn't okay. So there will be kind of like sensationalization as far as what he's doing here. Like, they'll be like, oh, he's trying to take some guy's girl. Not necessarily. It's a part of the show, and it's just underneath, I would say, like burlesque performances, where like nobody wants to see their dad or your local pastor or, the local firefighter or some gentleman, right, at a strip club. Like, no one wants to imagine that. So we're not doing that here. What we will imagine is that your pastor going to see like his favorite performer, and his performer dives into the stage to high five him. That's what we want to relate this to. Okay. So when we're thinking about what he's doing here, he understands the relationship he has with the audience. It's up to the audience to behave themselves, which is what's happening right here. I don't know what happened right there, but that lady just got hemmed up. And look, he just walks away, just like the lady in green. I'm gonna keep referencing her because it's funny. And then we have our sound engineer here. Okay, this is awesome. We get to peek at him. He is actually in a peculiar position of the entire venue. So he has what looks like flat frequency headphones, a microphone, a fan for keeping him cool, and I want to say probably just DJ equipment. Yeah, it looks like DJ software right here, as well as audio engineering equipment. So he's in a very peculiar position in that he controls the party. Like, he makes sure everything sounds good, right? which is probably why Usher came up here, just, kind of check on him and make sure everything's going good. But he's the guy that makes sure, the lights are good. He probably sends a lot of information out to the other employees in the venue. He probably is talking directly to Usher. He may be emceeing along with him and doing some hype man work. I wish I knew like his name, and he's probably like highly affiliated and a close friend or something like that. But yeah, people like him, very important for your group and your band. If you have only musicians in your band, you need an engineer. You need an engineer, not a producer, an engineer. You need a guy who understands technology, sound, software, digital audio workstations, lighting. And if you don't have a guy, get two guys. Get a guy who knows tech and then a guy who knows software. Hardware, software. You need to have this under control. Think of it like a boat. Like, you can have a captain, but a captain has a bunch of sailors with him making this shit work. This is your captain. This is your best sailor right here. And so we got to take a moment to reflect on the outfit. Remember Joe? All black, very, very minimally layered, breathable outfit. It doesn't look like anything is form fitting. He's moving around. I mean, when the video started, he was in the crowd dancing with somebody. So you have to remember that this is intentional. All of this is intentional. Now, we can talk about like the style and the branding and things like that, but it's really just peculiar to Usher in particular. But again, how you dress for your performance plays a huge role. And this is what he handed him. His engineer handed him a towel because he's a little sweaty. And that makes the engineer that much cooler. How the hell did you notice to do that? That's crazy. So little things like that are important. So this may be too hot of an outfit for the performance, which makes me think he might eventually take this jacket off to fully perform. But he may be sweating just from the outfit. There's a lot of bodies in here emitting heat. There's no fans. If there are fans, it's just for the venue. Like, there's no fan on him like you would see for a female diva singer, where they'll have like the fan blowing on her so she doesn't sweat through the makeup and things like that. He's got a towel, so he can just blat on his face and ruin whatever, camera makeup he may have on. But temperature is going to play a big role in here, and making sure, your performance goes well, because you don't want to overheat too, because he could get up here, start singing, and it starts going bad, especially with no water. We just seen Joe perform for an hour, and this is only a 12-minute video. Okay, I don't know why he did that. He just took his monitor out of his ear. That could be for a number of reasons. I'm just going to go through a few of what may have happened here. He probably started getting the crowd to sing, and feedback may have hit his ear, and it was just like, ooh, let me take it off. I'm good enough without it. There may have been a delay between what he was hearing, or there may be just some like tonal things, because it looks like he's just trying to like hear the crowd and kind of like get the note of the room, kind of like feel the vibration and frequency of the room and get it. Yep, and then he's not even using the mic anymore, so he probably doesn't even hear himself. He's just listening to music. So at this point, he's probably just listening to the song and was like, I'll just let it rock and then just go with him. And now he's back in. That's a good way to, again, remember he was sweaty and things like that. It's a good way to kind of take a break in the middle of the set without having to do too much work. He can kind of readjust, focus, let the crowd. Okay, here's a good example. She's getting content for her own page. That's going to be very helpful, for him as an artist. Like, if she posts this and be like, oh, I'm at the Usher concert, that's going to be super helpful, because then now he can show off the jacket that's probably custom, clearly show off his skills and things like that. And then this angle that she's shooting at right here, where you can see Usher, is going to show this big ass crowd in the back too, which proves that he's doing good business. So this is really awesome. You want people pulling out their phones. There's more people down here making more videos and stuff too. This is awesome. So let's see if he's going to actually wind up on stage and start running around and going crazy and stuff like that. Now, mind you, there isn't even a band. Well, if there is a band, they're not out here. Like, the spotlight's not on him. This man is literally in a Spartan Coliseum in the center and is just dancing with a DJ. If this isn't hip hop, I don't know what is. This is probably the illest shit you've ever seen in your life. But this was 2 years ago in Vegas. So this is kind of insane when you think about it. And boom, there he is. Cameraman. This is the angle none of you have. This is the perfect angle. Now, I don't know how it works for cameramen. Let me know down there, videographers. But if I was him, I'd be trying to get some like crazy cinematic ass angles for like whatever other camera we have out there. Let's see if we can fast forward and get another angle of the crowd. So I think this is all from just one angle here. And it doesn't look like much of the lighting changes. Okay, he does wind up going down there later. So let's see. Let's fast forward a little bit. This is about 6 minutes in, and I'm going to believe this is like a compilation of songs. So mind you, this is only a 12-minute video. I don't know how long the entire performance is, if it is longer, but the idea of having so much music packed into 12, 15 minutes is still crazy, because this is Usher Raymond we're talking about. Just like how I was talking about with Joe. You can't fuck with Joe's band. You can't. No, you can't. Stop. Hush. Quiet. Because when you think about Usher, I heard this man on a Chris Brown song do some runs that I don't even think MIDI controllers can do. It was insane. But if he can pull that off live in a bunch of songs that are also hits, you can't touch him. He can get up here and do whatever he feels like as far as music goes. Now, I think what's going to really probably be controversial for a lot of musicians is that he's not really standing there singing the song note for note all the way through. This seems more like kind of like a get together, a hangout. Like they're just kind of partying with Usher. That's because he's Usher. He gets to do that. And I think we kind of have a problem with that as younger musicians, because we are taught, at least coming up or in school, is that, you know, you better sing every note, make sure you get everything right. If you're playing an instrument, don't miss any notes and things like that. But this goes back to what I was always telling jazz musicians, is that you need to know what rules you're breaking. Usher knows that you guys are going to sing 67 to 80% of the song, right? Which makes it less about him singing the song. It's really about the song being performed. So similar to how you'll see female rappers turn around and twerk, you'll see fucking rock stars break their guitar, you see a bunch of crazy antics on stage. It just comes through highlighting the performance of the song. The song itself is not going to change. That's why it's recorded and on CD. Right now, we're here for Usher. That's why the lady in green was dancing with him. That's why all the other ladies wanted to dance with him. That's why everybody is like taking videos and taking pictures and stuff. It looks like he's literally like talking to the crowd as if it's like a party, a show and things like that. So it's less about let's watch Usher run through an entire set versus what is Usher doing today? Let's go hang out with Usher. That's really what it's about. And once you can get that level of connectivity with your fans, you have damn near gold. You have a money printing machine at that point. So I think this is going to be like the wrapping up of the performance. I think he's just going to basically walk down towards the center. And again, if you pay attention as he's moving through the crowd, security's right on him, just making sure no ladies try to like snatch his jacket or some dude try to trip him while he's going down there. And another thing too, spotlight is on point, because without this spotlight, it makes it a lot more difficult to move. The crowd and people with their cameras and things like that won't know what to focus on. This is stuff you don't think about when you're in the audience, but if this didn't happen, a lot of things would go wrong. If this spotlight was off center, or if they didn't have one, or if they didn't have the second one in front, there's a lot of things that make successful musicians and performance really, really, really work around the world. And when you're a smaller musician, it doesn't really click until you see a bigger production and you kind of like, oh, that's how they're putting it together. So that's why I'm piecing this together for you guys, so you can kind of see it in action and see it breaking out. Like we didn't know this girl was down here. And you know why she's down here in the spotlight dancing and on this TV screen? Is because Usher was 70 feet up here, where the people down here in the center of the stage didn't really get to see him. They were only really seeing him on the picture. So again, nobody would have thought to hire this girl in your band. Your band wouldn't have paid her any money. She wouldn't have been there. So they would have just been standing here bored waiting for you to get back down. This is very smart, very intellectual. Whereas some people might think, oh, she's just a girl dancing. It's like, no, she actually took advantage of a really good opportunity and is capitalizing, because she is killing it. Clearly she's not dancing trash. And she's not just twerking, she's actually doing some really, really good dancing. And she looks good. So it's not about like just putting a girl there. She's actually playing and fulfilling a really good role and doing it better than most. Look, wow, killing it. Okay, so don't play with them. You can't touch Usher. They have a second girl over here. A second girl dancing. See, these people can't contain themselves. They don't know what they're doing. Another thing we can pay attention to is the background. The background is static. So I think their decision to do this, where this background isn't showing like a bunch of video and things like that, really comes from the idea that they're probably going to put more of the production in the building of the stage, the lights, how these probably are remote controlled lights. And he does have a live band down here. So we're not going to spend a bunch of money on like videos and overlays and stuff. We'll just do a couple static pictures, maybe some, some mood lights, and then we'll keep it moving. But all in all, I think this is a really, really, really dope performance. I actually wasn't expecting to get so much from such a simplistic performance in terms of like trying to understand what Usher's going through making this happen. But there are a lot of things going into just having this man stand on stage and sing. There's a lot of things happen for this to happen. And mind you, bro is 46 years old. We got to check out what he's eating. What is he doing in the gym? How are you 46-year-old? He's 46 years old performing this fucking well. Good job. Great job. But yeah, if you guys enjoyed this, make sure you hit the like button, and I will make more content like this, and I'll be breaking down more and more concerts without the sound so you guys can understand what musicians are seeing when we look at these stages and these live performances. But I will see you guys very soon, and I'm out. Peace.